Michael, so obviously leading into finals, it's a bit of a different preparation. How are you guys sort of handling it?
Well, you say it's a bit of a different preparation, but we've really tried to maintain some consistency in our routine and our lead up, from reviewing the game that's just been into analysing Geelong and training as we have all year. So we're definitely trying to maintain a really routine approach.
And the trip to Skill Stadium and facing Geelong in general is a pretty daunting task over the last almost decade. Is there a trip that holds sort of any fears for you guys?
Oh, I think we're really excited. We actually just had a meeting then and had a little bit of a look at Geelong and a little bit of where they got us last time when we played them. It's just a really exciting period that we're going to be going over there to play in a qualifying final with the opportunity to get a home prelim, and it's going to be 4 really intense quarters for a really big prize of as I mentioned, a home prelim. So I don't think there's many fears. It's a lot of excitement.
You've probably played in more wins against Geelong than losses since you came into the AFL.
Yeah, I think I've only played them 3 times. At the final last year, as a sub once last year, and then in my first year. And I think we've had some good success personally, but it's one of those teams that you just respect so much. They've been a team that's probably been the most consistent over the last 8 to 10 years, and they've still got a lot of that core group playing. So you really do respect them and respect what they've achieved. But ultimately, the Fremantle Football Club want to go over there and give ourselves a great opportunity and write our own story.
What do they bring sort of in a game from a player's perspective? What does it feel like out on the park playing Geelong?
Growing up personally, I used to support them, so it's kind of that they were a lot of my idols that I'd look to, because they were, they're probably 30, 31, 32, the Enrights and the Chapmans, those kind of guys that have had really, really solid careers, and they've had really successful careers because they've been so durable and been in a good team environment and a successful environment, and that's something you want to achieve yourself, and I think this club really wants to strive towards. But we go over there on Saturday knowing they're the enemy, and they stand in the way of us getting a prelim final over here in front of our fans on our turf. So that's our focus first and foremost.
Whose number did you used to wear?
Whose number did I used to wear? I used to be a Robert Scott fan. That was when I was really young. So he was number 8, and then he went over to the Kangaroos. But I was a big fan of Joel Corey, probably my early days and Joel Corey's early days.
Did you say you haven't played at Simmons Stadium?
Oh, not AFL. I played a few VFL games. So I went okay as well. So.
Has Ross been stressing that it's just another ground and not to be intimidated?
Oh yeah, he doesn't get caught up too much in the talk of bad records and that kind of stuff. As far as we're concerned, it's a patch of grass, and we'll implement our style and play the way we want to play, and try and minimise the effect that some of their real key playmakers can have.
Can you talk us through the midfield battle and the key to stopping their engine room?
Yeah, when we played them earlier this year, it doesn't matter where you play them. If you lose a contested ball count by I think 50 or 60, you're not going to have a positive result. So it'll start with the midfield, and the first time the ball goes up on Saturday afternoon, it'll be a contested situation, and I think it's a massive emphasis on the result will be being able to get our hands on the ball at the contest and get the ball going our way, and we definitely didn't do that earlier this year.
Did you identify the reasons why that didn't occur earlier this year?
Oh, I think they just monstered us around the contest, and I think it was probably our worst performance of the year, and the stats really reflected that. So we can't have that happening again. I can guarantee that won't be the case.
Do you think you're convinced, given your record against the better sides this year, hasn't been, I guess, what you'd like at times, but do you think you're convinced some of the East Coast that you are premiership contenders? There's obviously Hawthorn, Geelong have been mentioned regularly, Sydney as well, but you seem to be left out of that conversation. Yeah,
I think around the media, especially over east, it's the Geelong, Hawthorn. Massive focus on them probably being there at the end, but this weekend will shape it up, and we get the opportunity to play in a qualifying final, and we've earned the right to finish in the top 4 along with Sydney, Hawthorn and Geelong, and this weekend. We can't look any further forward than this weekend and give ourselves a massive opportunity if we can get the job done on Saturday. But it starts with training tomorrow and the flight over and the preparation, and there's a really good solid feeling around the group that we're going over for a fierce battle with a fellow top 4 contender to, as I mentioned, get that home prelim.
You probably haven't seen it, but this morning the Geelong Advertiser's front page was "Get over it" with a box of tissues directed at you guys. Have you got a response for them?
Don't get the Geelong paper over here, but no, we moved on from it pretty quickly. I would have thought I don't think there was the games at Simmons Stadium, and as soon as that was announced, it was more of a relief than anything. It was really good of the AFL to kind of announce it really quickly, so then we could just focus on, well, not us personally, but the club could focus on getting us over to Avalon Airport and going from there. So it's as soon as it happened and it was announced, really exciting. Just we knew we were going to be playing away, and regardless of the ground, we know the probably 22, 25 Geelong players we're going to be tackling. So that's been the main focus.
Nick, how do you prepare for the lifting intensity and pressure? Is it something that you focus on, or perhaps you just rip into it?
Oh, I think any game of AFL football, I don't think I've had a moment in my AFL career where I've thought, oh, this is pretty easy. It's not using too much energy. So Ross mentioned yesterday that it's a brutal season, and you play 22 home and away games against professional athletes, professional teams, and finals will not be that different in that regards. It's just another game of AFL football against fellow AFL players.
And personally for you, how special is it to be playing finals after what you went through with your leg a few years ago?
Yeah, last year we got the opportunity to play 2 finals and got a real taste for it, and I think that's probably helped across the whole group. Probably the team that'll suit up this Saturday will be pretty similar to what we had last year, with the exception of a couple. So I think there's going to be a good number of players that had the finals experience last year, and I'm personally as excited as I was last year to get the opportunity to represent the footy club in a final.
Broken legs in AFL is quite rare, I suppose. And I suppose that you're a success story. Do you like that kind of thing that you can help others?
Oh, it's something that's happened so long ago now that just happy to be playing week on week and have all the injury issues well and truly behind me, and hopefully just keep contributing to a solid team performance.
I think there's a bit of a history of reports when Fremantle played Geelong. Do you think there's a bit of bad blood between the two sides?
I think it's definitely been probably an increase in rivalry over the last few years, and there's been some circumstances that have arisen over the period, but I don't think there'll be any intent to go out there, and I think the game will be played in pretty good spirit and we're all within the rules, and both teams want to give themselves the best opportunity, and from our point of view, we concentrate on what we can, and that's our style, our game plan, and how we can best stop them. But we won't be employing too many negative tactics, I wouldn't imagine.
Why do you think rivalry's up to, just because you've become more competitive?
Yeah, good question. I think since probably 2010 we've started to really be consistent against some of the top teams. I think probably this year was the only one where we've really been blown out of the water against Geelong, down at Skilled Stadium with that, as I mentioned, contested possession count. But I suppose when you play against teams and continually play close games and really competitive games, the rivalry does enhance, and you probably see that with Geelong and Hawthorn, them playing in so many close games. I think Geelong and Fremantle is a similar story over the last 2 or 3 years.
And you obviously had 5 guys nominated in the All-Australian squad. Have they been up and about?
Yeah, it was really good for the club. I think probably to have 5 in the 40-man squad, and hopefully get a couple in the final 22. But it's something that we haven't talked about at all, because we know we've got bigger fish to fry and a massive opportunity for collective team success over the next month. So I'm sure when it's all done and dusted, and I don't know, Chris Mayne definitely had a big grin on his face, but it was very well deserved from those 5. But those 5, along with the rest of the group, know that we've got bigger fish to fry.
You pretty unlucky to not get nominated yourself. Did you think there was a chance that you might get in?
If maybe it was a 400-man squad, I might have snuck in there. But no, as I mentioned, I'm very lucky to be part of the Fremantle Football Club and in a position where we're at the moment to be involved in hopefully a really good period of team success.
We saw a few days ago you with a big sledgehammer whacking a tyre. Can you tell us about that? Because Dave Mundy did it last week too.
Oh, really? The boys said the cameras were out there and someone had to go butter up and get the pipes out, and I drew the short straw. No, that's just part of the gym program, and the sports science guys. Not sure what they would think and put it out in front of a bit of OH&S probably about it, but